a try!
Michael, after a big win last week, are you happy with that?
Yeah, I was. I think we travelled. We've done a lot of travel. You know, we tried to. It was difficult to get our logistics right. We were hoping to start off the week with not travelling more, maybe with a couple of days up in London, and then travel down bus like stagger it. But we weren't able to do that because of the restrictions they put on us from a com. So we travelled a lot. We trained. We had a few guys coming back from injury, and we showed a lot of character, I thought, out there against, you know, a Welsh team that played very well. I think the Welsh team having the extra week, you know, we play them outside the window. So when they played this week here, they showed what they can really do. I thought they played quite well, and we had obviously a huge penalty count against us too. So we just showed a lot of character, and sometimes over here in Europe, that's just what you got to do.
Is that a problem with Wallabies' discipline issues, or perhaps some course not on the
Well, you're not going to be able to say it's not a problem of that, because the penalty count was 15-3, so, and that doesn't include the Ben Arms. I think it's just the consistency, I suppose, what we're looking for. You know, we go inside the 10, we get penalised, fair enough. Okay, but then in 2 plays later, the linesman calls the referee saying that the Welsh were inside the 5 off the scrum, and he said, no, it's all good. And, you know, there was just so much commentary coming from the sidelines. Well, you know, so I suppose it's just about the consistency there, but you can't say that's not. There's got to be an issue. We've got to solve that. We've not had that problem all year. None. We haven't. I think we've hardly gone over 9. We've not been in double digits all year nearly. So to go 15 in our first game in Europe, that surprised me. And lose a player as well.
Michael, I'm really pleased with how they coped defensively with the 49.
Yes, I thought our finishers really excelled there. They put their body on the line. A lot of close range stuff, you know, where we could have, you know, said, okay, you know, take a breath off the ball and maybe let in a try, because Welsh threw everything at us there. And if you look at the Welsh over the last 12 months, the majority of the points they've scored have been in the last 20 minutes of games. So we really just had to defend it. In fact, the try we scored to get the break was off just defence, you know, a good defence, and had a strip, and then Bill ran the distance there. But I think that's, like I said, you've got to be able to, when it doesn't always go for you from your attack, which it really didn't for us today, probably because it was punctuated by so many fouls, that your defence has to stand up there and be your insurance. And first try, I thought we misread that, and then we were sort of just scraggling for the last one. So I was happy with the D.
Michael, what was it like that 10 minutes sitting on the sideline there, watching the momentum of the game change?
Yeah, it was very long 10 minutes. But, you know, it's becoming a bit of a theme for us against this Welsh team. You know, there's been a couple of games where they've just, our team's really hung in there and shown a lot of character, and I think the players that were on the field, you know, really shone or showed the character of the whole group, not just the playing group tonight. That's staff and players who weren't on the field.
I guess how much do you take from that going into, going against England and that mental side of things?
Yeah, really satisfying win. Like Michael was saying, just the insurance of defence is it really does show the character of the team, where it's at, the willingness to work for each other and get up off the ground. Hugely pleasing. I mean, next week's going to be a different week altogether. You know, a lot less travel, like we've talked about. But you know, we'll savour this win. It's a sweet win. It's hard to win over here, and particularly putting ourselves in, you know, a hard place to win there tonight.
Michael, what do you make of the record against Wales? 13 wins in a row now. What does you feel is the difference in those games?
This, Michael?
Yeah. Sorry.
Mate, I don't pay any attention whatsoever, because you know, in any match when you go out on the field, the score starts at 0-0. What happened 12 months ago or 6 months ago or 2 years ago is irrelevant. Different players, different people, different mindset, different conditions, everything's different. And we are the humans, we love to have these, be able to pick these patterns, you know, oh, well, that's happened or this happened. But at the end of the day, it's it's whatever happens next. What's happened in the past, and I'm being very genuine about this, is irrelevant, because it's only about what happens in the future that counts. What happens in the past is done, and it has no effect, because next year when we come here, there'll be a different set of players probably playing for Australia, or probably not the same combination, and Wales will have a different set of players as well. We'll be in different parts of our progressions as teams, and it'll be a different contest altogether. And I don't think there's anything to be read into it. It's just the way it is. And every game's, fresh kickoff.
So how did everyone put up at the conference to have a
Yeah, he's got a problem with his thumb. He's all right in there now. He's sitting down, a bit of ice on it, but we'll take a look at that tomorrow. Simmons re-injured his neck a little bit. He had that neck issue, but he played a fair bit of the second half, which we didn't think he would. They was complaining that at half time, so he got through really well. And I think that's about it, really.
You think everyone will be
You'd like to think so, yeah. We'll have to see how those couple of guys, like I said, are injured. You never know what's going to show up the next day, but take your time. But you'd have to think from where we're at right now, yeah, should be okay.
Mike, do you feel in a good place to take on England on Saturday night?
Well, we'll be in the right place. We'll be in London. That's a start, right? So, mate, I don't know. Players spoke to me earlier on in the year, some of the guys, about how we prepare for matches and making sure that every match has the same type of preparation, the same importance. That we don't prioritise one team over another, because, and that's a very, very true word, and we've tried to prepare as best as we can this week. And again, next week, we will try and prepare as best we can. We understand that, the pundits over here don't think we're much of a chance. They've already given England 3-0 for November. I think I saw one guy say that, all respect to Australia, but a good club side would beat them, one of the commentators. So I don't think that there's too much for them to worry about, but we'll just prepare every day like we're going to try and play our best game on Saturday, and we'll go from there.
It's always a bit of fun with Eddie next week. Looking forward to that.
Mate, it's irrelevant. It's Australia versus England. That's the only thing that counts. It's not about fun with Eddie or with anyone. We'll have fun on our own, in our own camp, and then we'll just prepare ourselves each day the best we can.
Michael, Wales are looking at play a slightly different way with Owen Williams as well. There's more of a ball playing
Yep.
option there. Kind of the Southern Hemisphere thing we're used to seeing.
Yep.
How did you think that went from their point of view?
I thought it went well. I think they got us a couple of times on the edges, and the ability probably for their 10 to have that second option as well, so he doesn't have to play everything. Also made the 9 a little bit more dangerous. So, when you're looking at 3 playmakers, it gives there's that little bit of, you can't watch everything at the same time. We obviously play with the same sort of style, and have for a long time. So I think that it was a good move, but the ability to play both ways too is important. Sometimes you want to play with the more direct runners, and sometimes you want to be able to have the ability to play ball. I thought Wales played well tonight.
Michael, how did you feel the contest was in the back room?
Yes, it was solid. It was obviously a lot of decisions made at the breakdown. Games won and lost there a lot of the time. I thought, I'll be interested to review. I mean, that's all you can really do. You're only living in your head at the time and seeing through your eyes in the game. So when you get all the camera angles, you get to review the game. You really get to see how we shaped up there. I thought in that first half, when we were playing with ball in hand, we were moving it nicely and getting quick ball. Didn't have much in the second half, so it's hard to rate.
How do you think it's different compared to how you played in the Rugby Championship? That is the difficulty compared to coming up against European backgrounds.
Well, look, I mean, you always know that set piece is going to be a big thing over here. And in knowing the back, talking about the back row, it was a different picture for us tonight. We didn't know too much about, particularly 7, and the 6 there. So it was new. We had to feel out, Sean, myself, and Ned, and see how that was going to play out. But look, the breakdown is a 1 to 15 thing, 1 to 23 thing, and if we look to be successful, it's got to be that way.
Michael, a number of your players went over, and that was to so Jonathan Davis in the final whistle. Is that kind of a reflection of the respect he's held in after an injury like that to him?
No one likes to see fellow players go down. I mean, it's it's part of the game, which is unfortunate, but I think everyone shares that level of respect and wants everyone to be on the field. We're all in this game together, and it's unfortunate for him, and I'd expect that'd be the same there for us.